Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Time for a fact that makes your brain just go. Children, if they are obsessed with this, if they're obsessed, it means they're going to be intelligent. Now, you may not have kids. Maybe you were obsessed with this, and you are way smarter than people give you credit for because you were obsessed with this as a child. Kenzie's hoping it's sucking on batteries.
Because they did that. It would make me feel better about the whole thing.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, Kenzie. It's not sucking on batteries.
Can I just get a win?
Well, to be fair, it's a big reach in sucking on batteries, being obsessed with that, to think that made you a genius IQ level.
Why?
And I'm not saying you're not genius IQ. I'm just saying the battery connection might have been a little tough.
Do you know how hard it was to get all the tape off the back of the remote that my parents put on there to try to stop it? I would say that's a pretty high IQ for a 4-year-old.
I've talked to your mom about this. Yeah.
I know.
Case thinks it's climbing trees because people that climb trees are, to quote Case, doctors, lawyers, and fighter pilots today.
I just feel like there were kids that were always stuck at the top of trees. They loved doing it. I was never one of those kids, and I haven't gotten very far in life.
That's not right either. What it is, it shows a sign or a future of higher intelligence for children is if they are obsessed with dinosaurs.
Oh, love that.
So a report has found that children with an intense, obsessive interest in dinosaurs have a higher intelligence level. Now, if you know a little about obsessive and with prehistoric animals, then it shows you're an extremely smart child, as opposed to like a cow. If your kid's
cows.
If your kid just does that all day long, I'm not saying he's going to be dumb. I'm just saying when you have an obsession with prehistoric animals, it shows some sort of higher intelligence.
That's my nephew. He'll like, you know what I'm saying? If you go to a museum with him, he's like, well, do you realize that that's like, we're not talking T-Rex. Like, he just goes off and it's like, whoa, you're 8. Okay.
I'm not trying to brag, but Harper is obsessed with dinosaurs. But she doesn't say those things. She just goes, rawr. Just rawr.
Are you sure it's not lions?
I'm not sure. So I don't know. But I'm not saying you should force feed your baby dinosaurs in any way or shape or form.
Shove them down their throats.
But maybe go to the Field Museum and see Sue. Even O'Hare has this big dinosaur in there now in Terminal 3. I don't know where it came from, but it's a big dinosaur skeletal thing. Get them around dinosaurs. Now, if they don't react, bad sign.
Oh, man, I would not want to be that parent. That is a tough life I had.
Leave your kid in that kind of post office box at the fire station.
Even if they're 7 or 8 years old, leave them there.
Just leave them there. Start over. It's all terrible.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q101.
Kenzie on Q101, and new laws starting in January 1st, 2025, just a few weeks away in Illinois. And we do this every year around this time. It's always fun to go through and see what's going to be illegal or something that actually is now legal that will help you in situations. So let's get right to them here. We love getting through these laws. And I don't know how, to be honest, you think about the process of a law getting to where it is. And this one on gym memberships, I think was long overdue. And I think people are going to be happy about this one.
Well, think about this just before you say it, Brian.
Yeah.
In order for a law to become a law, somebody has to not only think about the fact that they want this to be a law, then they have to go do something about it. That sounds exhausting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know where to start.
That's why you're not one of those people that do that. Though.
I'm not one of those people.
Yeah. You're not in the government.
No, I am not. That is correct.
You're anti-government. No, I'm kidding.
Sometimes.
All of us are a little bit. So, this is the law. Do you have a gym membership right now, Kenzie? Do you have a gym membership?
No. I don't do gym memberships. I don't like to work out in front of people. I feel uncomfortable.
You want to unpack that at all?
I feel very uncomfortable working out in front of people. I don't look good when I'm doing it. I don't want a bunch of people there. So we just have like a few machines in the basement, and this is private. No one looks at me. I don't like it.
See, the problem I have is I need motivation. Like, we have that weight set I bought at Costco for Megan. It's
3 years ago.
Is it 3 years now?
Yeah.
It's a dumbbell set, and Megan wanted it because she works out every day and said, like, you could start working out too. I go, yeah, you know what? I am. It's right there. It's sitting right
there.
The weights are literally 20 feet from me.
You can see them.
Every day.
3 years. Megan has used them almost every day. I have used them 0 times. Zero. And all I could do, I could sit there and watch the challenge and
I thought
curl.
you said you did a curl once while you were eating brownies, like a few months ago.
I'm gonna
Did
make.
you say you ate a plate of brownies and you did some curls?
I'm gonna make a confession on the show that I don't usually do. I lied.
You only ate the brownies?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I only ate the brownies.
So you thought that I'd respect you more if you did 3 curls and then ate a plate of brownies?
I did. Guess not.
It wasn't even a big brag. I can't believe you lied about that.
The thought of lifting weights and eating brownies is so overstimulating. I couldn't imagine having to do both of those at the same time.
That's why I didn't do it.
No,
He
exactly.
stuck
And
with
that's
the brownies.
why.
I'm going to do it, though, this January. I'm starting.
Okay.
The weights are right there. They're sitting there. And so I need to go to, that'll be helpful to go to a gym and see other people doing it because I'd be embarrassed to just sit in the gym and not do that. Eat a plate of brownies at the gym. I can't do that. But here's a new law. It's 4911, a new law in Illinois that starts January 1st, 2025 about gym memberships. And Case, do you still have your Planet Fitness membership?
I moved into a building with a gym.
Oh.
Oh, fancy pantsy.
Because you loved Planet Fitness.
Loved it.
Loved it. And then you had to call and break up with
That's
them.
how
and
you
say,
lost. What did you lose the weight challenge?
2.3 lbs.
Thank you. Planet Fitness.
Yep, thank you for that. And I beat him by losing like 2.7 pounds for that month.
Because you starved yourself for like 24 hours.
Yep. It worked.
Yep.
So the new gym membership law in Illinois starting January 1st is gym memberships can now be canceled over the phone, online, or via email.
F yeah.
That's
That's what I'm talking about. For the people, finally.
Well, and listen, I loved going to Export for so many years, but there's a time when you move into a building with a gym and you go, "Boy, I gotta. Why should I pay? I got a thing here in the gym, or my own place." And even though I won't use it, if I have to go to the gym, I should be going to the gym. But they make it so hard to cancel the membership when you do want to cancel it. And so this way it guarantees they have to do it by phone, online, or email. Because I remember there were sometimes other gyms. I remember when I moved away.
You'd be in person.
Yeah,
And
then
you would leave. You're like, well, I moved though.
yeah. I think in Philadelphia, I was part of a gym called Sweat when I got exiled from Chicago.
Ew.
I got
Are you
exiled
sure
from
it wasn't
Chicago
like a
radio.
strip club? Like a male strip club?
Depending on the day you were there.
He's like, I thought it was a pole class.
Yeah. But I had to cancel membership, and I did have to fly back in person to cancel it.
That's a really funny flight. Oh, what are you doing on business? Nah, cancel the gym membership.
Kind of business. It's kind of.
I have to save
Ironically,
$7.99.
That was the only time you ever went to that gym was
Yeah.
to cancel it.
You know, I went in there and I said, this is a nice place. I should be working out in here.
You know what? I'm going to keep it. I'm going to fly back.
My brother used to call it, are you still giving donations to that gym?
It is a strangely emotional situation when you do have to cancel your gym membership because even though, you know, when I canceled my Planet Fitness membership, I was moving from uptown to even more north than uptown, but I still had to go to that gym and go to the guy at the desk and go, I'd like to cancel my gym membership. And he asked me very earnestly, he goes, well, can I ask you why? And at that moment, I was doing the it's not you, it's me routine. It's like, you don't understand. I love it here. I love the elliptical. I love the weights. I don't need this anymore because I'm going to a place that has a gym. And he doesn't care, but it really is. It's a delicate conversation to have.
It's
How
absolutely like
many times have you used the gym in your building?
A few.
Case.
You know, a few here and there. Here and there. I don't keep track or anything.
Oh, yeah.
Lost count at this point.
Of course.
under 10.
Man, I don't like being called out like this.
Is
but
it
yeah.
under 5? Can you count on one hand how many times you've been to that gym?
Depends how many fingers are on the hand. If it's a traditional 5-finger hand, yes, it would be under 5.
Can you go to the management?
hand.
No. Can you go to the management office and get footage from the last 7 months of you being in the building?
Once they find footage of the United Health CEO killer in McDonald's, once they find that footage, I'll get the footage of me in the gym.
Question,
Yeah.
would we be able to find footage of you at the gym as an alibi that you're not him? Would you be able to prove it?
That feels like a toss-up.
So you can now cancel, at least starting January 1st, a gym membership with online, phone, and through email. So you can do that now legally, where before they did you have to do it in person and make it difficult. There's some more Illinois laws that start January 1st that we should get to. For example, drivers will be prohibited from stopping or parking vehicles on shoulders of highways within a half-mile radius of the eastern entrance of Chicago O'Hare's airport.
Oh, boy. Here they go.
This is a big one because people they have those beautiful cell phone lots, but people love pulling over to the side and waiting to pick up somebody.
Yep.
And by the way, people that have chosen to pick you up at the airport should be able to do whatever they want. Because what? Because what an ask. Look, Kenzie, will you pick me up at the airport when we come back from vacation?
Why would I drive from Elgin to O'Hare to downtown Chicago back to Elgin?
Because you're the only person I know that could do it.
Your wife?
No, she's going with me. You have to pick us both up.
Oh, ask your brother.
See? That's the answer you usually get. I'm not picking you up at the airport.
I would pick up my family. I would.
Have you?
Don't ask me. Nobody travels. I'm the one that travels.
No one's asked.
No one's asked me since I got here.
I'm not asking Kenzie. That'll be scary. I don't need that answer.
No, I don't. And then if she picks you up, she'd be so angry in the car. Yeah. I don't want to deal with it.
Listen, I drive so much, and traffic upsets me so much. And I'm a different person. Like, I could never put one of those fish on my car because I would de-influence people from religion. I'm like, because when I'm driving, I know it's a different story.
That girl with the Jesus fish on her car is going to hell. Look how she's driving.
She just ran into me on purpose and flipped me off.
I'm telling you.
I'm not Christian in the car. I'm not.
I've gone to the O'Hare cell phone lot and waiting for a flight that got delayed. I got stuck, so I thought I better just go over there. It's actually very peaceful and nice.
So explain to me what a cell phone lot is, because I assumed that A, there were payphones there, and B, that it was kind
cell phones.
I know, but I just figured cell phone lot feels like something that the European contingent would use, and that I, as an American, would never have to worry about it.
So it's just a big parking lot that you can wait in. I don't know why they call it the cell phone lot anymore, because somebody calls you from their cell phone saying, hey, I'm off the plane now. I'm at baggage claim. Come get me. I'm at 1G or whatever like that. So then you can take off out of there and then go around and pick them up. So you can wait there instead of waiting on the side of the road, which is a hazard for other cars coming through. Again, I say, anybody that agrees to an airport pickup should be able to do whatever they want.
I'm a drive in a circle to someone's ready person because I hate parking and then putting it back into drive. I feel like I'm ready. Because sometimes you get off that plane fast AF. I'm like, I'm already in the circle, baby. Let's go. Pick up at the last door. Hustle. I'm a circler around.
But sometimes at O'Hare, when the plane lands, you feel like you're still driving from the location you were at because the plane takes
I feel like they're going to drop me off at home. I'm like, where am I way to my house? This is taking forever.
You go over the highway and you're like, where are we going in this plane?
Good Lord. Are we on our way to Midway? That sucks.
We're driving to Midway because we landed at the wrong airport.
F.
Yeah, so you can't do that anymore. Starting January 1st, you can't park in that eastern entrance of O'Hare. You got to go to the cell phone lot or keep circling and then hurt the environment because your car's still, well, I guess either way you're hurting the environment.
If you're idling in the cell phone lot, I don't think you're saving the planet.
I was trying to put a positive spin or a negative spin on it, but I guess
what
either.
I do is you are killing everyone.
Yep. You can take the blue line too.
The jet's in the air. It's my car going in a circle. I'm the problem. Good Lord. That's such a funny thought. Are you for real?
2024 was the warmest year on record, and it's Kenzie's fault.
That's what I heard. That is what I heard.
I'm right. Not the hair metal bands of the 80s using too much hairspray.
No,
nope.
because Kenzie won't buy an electric car.
That's right.
My problem.
Yep. Finally, let's get to, we have a bunch more, but this one we have to get to. That starts, it's Law 2960, and this is new laws from Illinois that will start January 1st, 2025. Hotels with 50 or more rooms will be required to eliminate single-use plastic bottles by July 1st, and then all remaining hotels will be required to eliminate such bottles by the end of the year. So all that free shampoo, conditioner, body lotion is going to go away in hotel rooms, and that's a big deal for a lot of people to travel and have that ready access. Plus, I steal all that stuff.
No, so I want to clarify. They're moving to the big bottles. You're not going to not have shampoo and conditioner and stuff.
I'm not 100% sure on that. Is that
that's what I believe it is.
Okay.
So, when you go to a hotel and they have the massive one installed into the wall. So
right.
That way when somebody uses it once, they don't have to throw it out. That's what they're supposed to do. So it'll be the refills. They're probably ordering all refills. A lot of hotels already switched to that because it's also a money saver to not produce all the mini ones. So they usually still offer it, but it's in the huge refillable one. So you can't steal them anymore.
Well, that's the problem. I can't steal the little bottles.
That is the problem.
If anybody ever stays in my house, I have a whole basket underneath the sink, which I think people are like me, and you keep all the hotel shampoo, conditioner, and body wash.
Guests.
For my guests.
Of course.
Yeah, that way they don't,
5-star rating.
They're not going to use my stuff.
Of course not.
So you can use this hotel stuff.
So you're killing the planet like that, and then I'm killing it by doing a circle at O'Hare?
Yeah, how are you killing the planet, Case?
Just by existing every single day. My carbon footprint's huge.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Now it's time for Head to Headlines. You decide the content of the show. We give you two headlines, two of the funniest headlines of the week. And based on what you text in, you choose the story, then we read that story. We will never talk about the other story again. And today's a toughie. Both these headlines.
Today's a toughie.
It's a toughie. I don't know what you guys are going to choose, but that's why we love doing this. It's your show.
Yeah.
So you text in at 312-591-8300, headline number 1 or headline number 2. So let's give you those headlines. Here we go. Headline number 1. And listen, there's some sadness in these stories a little bit too, but remember, it's about the ridiculousness of the headline and the story itself.
Uh-oh, disclaimer. I don't know what you're about to read now.
I'm doing that for Kenzie specifically on this one. Headline number 1. Pet crocodile dies after being tossed into Alaska snow during argument between brothers over anime.
Oh, no.
That takes a few twists and turns.
There's a long headline. There's a lot of information there. And by the way, that's what it said, troopers say. So that's how the headline ends.
Super Troopers.
The troopers say, we feel bad for the crocodile, but the story, two brothers arguing over anime, caused that to happen.
Pour one out for the crocodile.
Wow, that's sad. But that's headline number 1, if you want to hear on that, but not before you hear headline number 2, which is this. Chinese man trapped in well in Thailand for 3 days as villagers mistook his cries for a ghost.
Oh, my God.
I gave a trigger warning on these stories.
Why didn't he say other words?
Well, if you want to know more about what happened, instead of going, ooh.
Like, we'd be like, it's me, George, in the well.
I live at 32 Main Street. Please help me.
Still a ghost.
So if you want to know more about how these stories transpired, headline 1 or headline 2, you decide by texting 312-591-8300.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Head the headlines. You decide what headline we break down. These are the funniest headlines of the week. We give you 2 of them. You vote at Q101.com. I'm sorry, you vote at 312-591-8300.
Q101.com.
Do not go vote at Q101.com. And here we go. Let's recap the headlines and we'll give you what the results are in seconds. Headline number 1 was, pet crocodile dies after being tossed into Alaska snow during argument between brothers over anime.
What in the world?
Troopers say.
Troopers say?
That's what the troopers said. It's a lot in that headline.
It is a lot.
A lot of information. And I'm dying to know how an argument on anime escalated to that level and why the poor crocodile died and not one of the brothers.
I'm dying to know how they got a pet crocodile.
I don't understand how they were able to manhandle it like that.
That's true.
Well, there's these ones called the caimans, which are smaller, like they're about 1 foot or 2 feet long. I don't want to get into that.
Why
crocodile
do you
nerd?
know that?
Because in college, the guy...
I actually don't know where this is going.
He threw me a curveball.
Please continue.
in college, the dude next to me was a biology major, and he had a caiman in his dorm room. And he also had a snake. And before we'd go out drinking, he would feed the snake little mice. I'm sorry, Kenzie, it's not nice.
I hate that stuff.
I know, but the snake had to eat. And so we said,
Girls got to eat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we would bet over-unders on time on how long the mouse would last. It sounds terrible, but I was...
You're kind of like sick, huh? You got some stuff going on there.
Listen,
And you think about it.
had to pass time at Bowling Green State University, and that was one way to do it.
So he was a biology major?
Yes.
And you were sitting next to him? And what class were you guys in?
We didn't have any classes together. We had the same dorm room, the same
okay.
dorm.
I figured I want to know what overlap class you had with a biology major.
There's in radio, television, film, my degree at Bowling Green State University, I would say I did not take one biology class. All right, so that was headline number 1. You got it. Pet crocodile dies after being tossed into Alaska snow during argument between brothers over anime, which is fascinating, troopers say. Headline number 2 was, Chinese man trapped in well in Thailand for 3 days as villagers mistook his cries for a ghost.
Oh, my God.
And I think people really see that the first headline pretty much tells almost the whole story, so they didn't really want to hear any more about it. So really, headline number 2 won by a landslide.
Like a lot. Headline too heavy.
Yeah, so let's get into it. That's the story you chose, and we'll never talk about that other story again. We'll talk about anime at some point again, I think, but just not that story. All right, headline number 2. Chinese man trapped in well in Thailand for 3 days as villagers mistook his cries for a ghost. Which is just on the basis of that alone.
Well, I
It's
want
terrible.
to know if he threw other words in. He should have articulated.
We'll find out.
Hey, guys, I fell down the well.
Yeah.
All helpful.
I'm not a ghost.
This is me. I'm alive in the well.
Before we even get into it, being stuck in traffic, being stuck in the grocery store line at the self-count when people are taking too long for 10 minutes, I'm ready to pull out a machete. This guy was trapped for 3 days in a well. In a well.
And you can't even, yell at anybody. You can't take what are you going to hit? Pound of the rock? You're just, screwed.
There is a little plot twist on this that will explain maybe why they thought he was a ghost, and we'll get to that in a second. But here's the first off. In Bangkok, this happened. A Chinese man spent 3 days in a 12-meter deep abandoned well in a remote forest in Thailand with calls for help mistaken villagers for a ghost. So he was in a remote forest. I don't know what he was doing there. Maybe just doing a nice hike. I don't know. We'll find out more in the story here. The South China Morning Post reported that the incident occurred near the Thai-Myanmar border, where local police heard reports of eerie cries emerging from the forest at night, which makes me think he only yelled for help at night. Which probably wasn't a good move. That right there is a bad...
Maybe he fell asleep during the day.
Well, why didn't he sleep at night?
It was scarier. It's spooky.
Hard to argue with that.
You know what I mean? You know how when you're watching a horror movie and it's daytime in the horror movie and you're like, ugh, maybe he'd finally relax and fall asleep.
Yeah, but it didn't help his cause in somebody finding him that way.
It did not.
So he was 22 years old, and he later said through a translator, "I shouted for help once every hour to conserve my strength."
Oh.
So he didn't keep yelling the whole time "Hey, I'm in a well, help me." He just goes oh, no, he went "Oh."
I gotta say, also a bad call because now you're setting yourself up for failure. You have to think, I'm going to use all my energy and my voice, and hopefully somebody comes and not well, let me spread this out. I'm going to be here a while.
Yeah.
You know?
If you yell help once an hour, it's help. I might think it's a ghost, too, if I didn't hear it again. Wait, where are you at?
What is that? We got to look at our pipes.
Yeah.
I've been telling you that. Husband and wife got in a fight. I've been telling you those pipes for a month.
Wait, if you can just yell out your location, I'll find you and help you. And then there's nothing.
Yeah, well, you think I got to wait an hour?
Then you go tell somebody, I heard this guy yell help an hour ago, but nothing after that. Must have been a ghost. Because he didn't say anything after that. So probably a bad strategy on his part. The chief police officer then shouted when finally a cop walked by and heard this. A passing patrol unit heard someone crying, was unaware of the source. He finally shouted, and the man shouted back. Not every hour, but just this one time when someone was trying to save his life. Jeez. And they began searching for him, and they called a rescue team in. And it took about 30 minutes to get him out of there. So he was there for 3 days, but it only took 30 minutes to get him out when they found him on the bottom of the well. So, again, his theory of maybe yelling more often would have helped.
How did he fall into the well?
Just fell into it.
He just fell into it.
There's holes everywhere, Ken, so you got to watch out.
But usually wells are partially above ground.
Yeah, I don't have the picture of the well situation.
I need to know.
Well,
do you think he barreled over it and hit his gut on the well and toppled over the well?
You know what I think?
What do you think happened? Let's come up with a theory as to how he fell in.
I bet you $1 million because it's such a guy thing. He was filming videos of himself doing parkour, and he tried to jump over it, and he fell in.
He tried to jump over, just sank to the bottom.
And he just fell. He didn't make it. Parkour.
And he was sitting there going, God, I just should have stayed home.
Because I feel like this is he's a grown man. I would guess, maybe married, has a girlfriend who would never allow him to do that.
Yeah.
He's I'm going to do what I want. I'm in the woods by myself.
Old ball and chain.
Yeah, weighing him down.
And by the way, it would be so awesome to jump over a well.
Yeah.
Think about how awesome you would look if you did that, Brian. If you did the Jumpman logo over a well, you tell everybody about it.
Where can we find a well around here?
What a great question.
In Chicago?
Well, I'm probably more thinking of a forest preserve somewhere that still has an old well somewhere.
I don't know.
Is there any park rangers out there?
Prairie thing. I bet Case has some on all of his land that his parents live on.
I bet in Indiana there's some wells.
Well, we had wells at our house because toads used to get stuck down there, and then my dad would lift me into the well, and we would do a toad rescue. If you've ever seen somebody in a hurricane, they get taken up in the basket by the helicopter when they're stuck. They don't know how to get out.
The basket?
We wouldn't do a basket. The basket in this case was my father's masculine arms, but I would get dropped down into the well, carry the toad out of the well. He would pick me up, and I would carry the toad out of the well, and we would save the toad's life.
I imagine wells as incredibly deep.
These were not super deep wells.
Because how did he drop you in it?
There was depth to them, but they weren't super deep. Nobody at every point mistook me for a ghost.
I just think of the Ring every time I see a well.
Yeah.
Right?
Wells are not good.
I don't want to look at it.
Wells are not good.
I mean, I guess you needed to get water out of them at some point, but don't we have pipes now? Like, don't pipes bring the...
But why did you have a well? What were you doing with it besides the toad thing?
I didn't build the house. All I know is that at some point there were toads and wells. I had to get them out. I was a hero.
Don't toads love wells?
I don't. Maybe they were mad.
No. I don't think so. I don't. If I was a toad, you know where I wouldn't want to be? A well.
Why? They like it dark, damp, and wet?
Ayo. Brian's like, I'm also a toad. He's never related more to a toad. The spirit animal.
Me and toads were the same.
I don't think it's true that toads like wells.
I just went in there and said, do toads like wells? And now toads can be found in window wells, and they're attracted
That's
to water.
What we had. We had window wells.
Yeah, most moist soil and damp places. I am a toad, basically. I can tell I do like this stuff.
Very toady.
Okay, to finish up, head to headlines with the story of the Chinese man. He did live, and he's at the hospital. He was obviously extremely dehydrated, had some injuries, but he did live, and he's regaining his strength. And so, well, there you go.
There must have been no water in the well. He was dehydrated?
It was an empty well.
Oh, shit. What are the odds?
It was an empty well.
Just his luck.
God.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.